I believe that there are three forms of art in the church, which the first two everyone knows about, and it is very common. But the third one is one that most people don't even know exists, and we'll say it's frivolous and it's not necessary. What are the first two forms of art? First form is praise and worship art. Now I know praise and worship are two different things, but this is the category of a type of art. Praise is uplifting name of the Lord, and worship is interaction with the Lord. It is more intimate. I understand there is a difference. However, for the purposes of this video, I am classifying praise and worship art as one thing. What is praise and worship art? Well, worship music, for example. What is the second type of art? Well, it's teaching art or allegorical art. Now this is stuff that is used to help teach lessons, moral values, and even to teach to teach the Bible. It's preaching art, teaching art, or preaching art. This is those two are the most common forms of Christian art. And everybody in the church thinks that all Christian art has to be, or all art made by Christians has to be explicitly Christian. Or has to be praise and worship or teaching. But the third form is called kingdom art. What is this? Well, kingdom art is art that benefits the kingdom. What is the kingdom? The kingdom is the Christian community, the Christian civilization as we know it. What does the world have? The world has things that are theirs, which we can enjoy as well, but these are called secular art. So what is kingdom art? Well, essentially it is Christian secular art. I know that sounds like a contradiction, but that's what it is. I'm not saying it's godless. I'm saying it is our art made out of our own passions for for art itself, to uplift art. And I know some people might say that's idolatry, but I'm not talking about worshiping. I'm talking about the fact that Christians are doing it is a profound thing.
Just do it!
Because Christians think that they should only do things that explicitly worship God or explicitly teach. And I know there's a verse, whatever you do, do to the glory of God. That's true. I agree with that. However, people take this hyper literally as if it means that all you should do every single second of your day in your life, you should always be praying. And I try to do that as much as I can. I do. But it does not mean that you aren't allowed to have hobbies. And that's what I believe kingdom art is. It's art that may not be explicitly Christian, but it's in the Christian environment, because the Christian environment lacks art. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? The fact that we lack art means that our culture is dead. We have no culture. The world has culture. Kingdom culture is something we must develop if we are to become more relevant. I'll give you an example. The Renaissance was considered possibly the highest point in Western art and Western Christian civilization. Now, Christian civilization is not Western civilization, contrary to what many people will tell you. Christian civilization came from Jesus Christ himself. Now, the West has deeply Christian roots, but Western civilization is not Christian civilization. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Yes, during the Renaissance, there was a lot of high art, and much of the artists were Christians. Much of the art was commissioned for the church, and not all of it was. Some art was made purely out of their own passions for art. But I still would say a lot of it was kingdom art because they were Christians and they lived in Christian societies. So you get what I'm saying here. Modern society is mostly secular. and not Christian. So what is considered normal is what is made by non-Christians. And what is it that they make? They make secular art, and that's what everyone consumes. So we should make it too. Some people would say that secular art is wrong because it doesn't specifically praise God. But I have an objection to this. Anything created by Christians to reach people, to reach people's hearts, is done out of a genuinely Christian motivation, and ultimately it is an act of worship to God. It is whatever you do, do unto the glory of God. Not whatever you do, only do unto the glory of God. It's whatever you do unto the glory of God. So think about doctors, for example. They practice medicine. They devote so much studying time to medicine. Now, picture a Christian doctor. And what are they doing? They are helping people. They are helping the kingdom. They are helping to reach people, to heal. Not in a miraculous way, but to heal and to help. This is a very Christian thing. And as I said, it's an act of worship to God. Imagine if Christians never played the piano. Imagine a world where only Satanists played the piano. And what if a Christian decided to play the piano? And not necessarily to make worship music, but to play the piano. Well, he'd absolutely be contributing to the kingdom because he'd be doing something that no other Christian had been doing. He'd be taking something back that the enemy had stolen. And a lot of Christians would probably say, "Don't play the piano! The piano is satanic!" So yes, winning souls and teaching and praising God are important. But also, simply making something is important too, because it's contribution to the kingdom. I mean, what's the most important thing to do in church? Show up! If you're not there, you can't experience it. So sometimes something simply being present is an extremely important thing. If you make something, you've contributed it. The world, the heathens, for lack of a better word, they're writing stories. They're making things that are cool, things that people like. And we are not, because we are so concerned about supposedly building the kingdom by winning souls, which is important. It's the most important thing. But we lose sight of the fact that we're not contributing to art. We're not making anything. So, kingdom art is not necessarily teaching. In fact, it can even not be teaching at all. Kingdom art is simply enjoyable because people are human. And that's how you reach people, because people will see a Christian made this. Well, Christians can be creative too. I guess Christianity isn't as bad as I thought it was. And also, it's encouraging to other Christians who have the same passions for art.